Josh Green here for Tungsten Tales. Delighted to be joined by Fallon Sherrock, just a couple of weeks out now from back at the Alexandra Palace. How does it feel to be going back to the place where really everything started for yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm so excited to go back to Ali Pali. That's where all the good memories come from. And, I feel like my game's decent at the moment, so I feel very confident going into Ali Pali and just hope I can perform how I can.
And I think it's fair to say it's always come out on that big stage, especially at Ali Pali. Do you relish these big occasions?
Yeah, I don't know how I do it, but, just put me under pressure and the nitty-gritty and stuff. And I just tend to just pull out some finishes when I need to. And I don't know how I do it, but the big stage just kind of makes me shine. I love being up there.
How much has that moment changed your life? Because you were a very accomplished darts player before that, everybody knows that, but beyond that, the media interest, everything that's come with it, it's a different ball game for you now, isn't it?
Yeah, totally different. My whole life changed. I'm now, a women's ambassador for it. I'm the face of what everyone wants to look for when they want to start playing darts and stuff. It's just amazing to think I've inspired so many people to kind of take up the sport, and not only just for myself, but the women's game in general has just excelled. And it's just really good to kind of be that person to kind of help the sport.
How much pride in that do you take? Because obviously you've achieved so much yourself, but to pass that on to other people and young girls that want to play the game, that must be a big thing for you.
Yeah, I'm so proud of myself, and just to help the sport in general and helping, new youth players coming through and women kind of getting involved in it, because the more women that play in it, the more opportunities we're going to get. And without these opportunities, it would never have been where it is now.
Did you realise in the moment how big that moment was?
No, not at all, because I remember watching, because Mikuru was on before me, and I remember watching Mikuru and I'm shouting at the TV and I'm going, go on Mikuru, and then when she lost I was like, oh, she was so close, and then I started to get nervous because I was like, oh no, I've got to compete against that, and at the time, Mikuru was world champion and all of that, and I was like, right, okay, I'm just, that person that kind of just plays darts and I'm decent, but I'm not, a world champion or anything like that. And I remember going up and I was like, right, okay, if Mikuru can do it, I can do it. So if anything, Mikuru didn't inspire me because of how well she played against, I think it was James Richardson. So yeah, the whole concept of it all, it's just life-changing. I think it's amazing to come back to Ali Pali each year.
Where is that level in the ladies' game now? Because it's not just you. Beau Greaves has been terrific over the last 12, 18 months. Lisa's showing some form again. There's a whole host of other names I could mention as well. Does it feel like the ladies' game's at an all-time high?
Yeah, no, I just think the whole standard of the women's game is just excelling each, tournament that we play in. Because, it's not just, me, Beau, Lisa, Mikuru, all the top names you'd expect. You've got, Robin Byrne, Rhiannon O'Sullivan, you've got people who people don't really know, but they have got the game in them. And, all they need is more opportunities to showboat themselves on TV, and then, their whole life could change.
And those names you mentioned, they were playing good darts as well before all this came along. But I think not just them, but lots of women's games have been elevated from the last 2 or 3 years just because of the opportunities that you guys are now getting.
Yeah, definitely. I actually do think the women's series in general, right, has just helped the women kind of see what, prize money they could get, what opportunities they could get, get into the match play, what opportunities can be given and how your life can change. And the women want to kind of push their game. So, every woman that goes to that women's series, they have a really good A game and stuff, and their B games are usually they used to be kind of 20 average, but now their B games are at least a 25, unless you're hitting decent averages first rounds. You might get a couple of easy first rounds, but it's not like that anymore. Your first rounds are always hard. But yeah, no, I do think the women's game in general has just excelled. You can see it in the averages. If you look back a couple of years back, the averages weren't as good as what they are now, and everyone's just so inspired of what Beau's doing, Lisa's doing, I'm doing, and everyone just wants to take a bite of that apple and just kind of see where they can progress in the game.
There was a time probably earlier this year where Beau was playing some unbelievable darts and probably winning more tournaments than yourself. Was that a big motivational factor, seeing somebody else get the glory and you want to get back on that cycle, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, seeing someone, win multiple, tournaments again and again and again, it kind of inspires you to go, okay, right, my game needs to be upped a bit more if I want to compete and if I want to win a tournament again, because I knew my game wasn't anywhere near Beau's game. So I knew I had to kind of up my game, if anything, if I wanted to even compete against Beau. So that's what I've done the last, couple of months, kind of help my game. And the last block of the women's series, I've kind of had to raise it because I needed to raise it to get to Ali Pali.
Went right down to the wire, as you say there. It went down to that last weekend of women's series. How was that for you, knowing going into that weekend you weren't in those World Championship spots and you had to obviously find something to push yourself into them?
Oh yeah, that was so nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie, but literally I remember, I think before the last weekend, I remember when Makuru took me out, I think the first comp on the Sunday morning, or the block before, and that really hurt me because I was like, right, okay, you got a decent player first round, you've just knocked out your chances of getting to the Grand Slam. Ali Pali are at the line now, you need to kind of dig deep. And then I remember practicing with Lorraine Winstanley and I was like, right, okay, get motivated now. And I remember winning the next one and then I won the next 3 after that. But your whole mindset had to change, like my whole mindset had to change, because I was like, right, you have to really get determined now. You need to kind of put your averages to where Beau's averages are. You need to put them where Lisa's averages are. Like, you can't just keep going and playing mediocre, because otherwise you're not going to get the results.
The final thing I want to talk to you about is obviously Beau's had to make a decision between going into the WDF World Championship and the PDC World Championship. Is that, for you, someone who's obviously championed the women's game, she's not going to be at Ali Pali, is that disappointing in any way?
I just feel like she's done what she wants for herself. Like, only she knows, what would benefit her. And I think, she has won a world championship before. She wants to be multiple world championships, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to do what they want to do. I do think, Ali Pali would have helped her a lot, especially at the Grand Slam. She performed so well at the Grand Slam. But, the more confidence she gets, and then maybe next year when she gets to, when she gets to Ali Pali, it's not an if, when she gets to Ali Pali, she might sit there and go, do you know what, I'm 2-time World Championship. She might be, for the women, because obviously she's still yet to play. I've done what I wanted to do, and now I'm going to push my game a bit further and play against the men and do well at Ali Pali, because she's more than capable of doing that. But I do think, she's done what she wants to do, right for her and everyone. I mean, I'm not a world champion, I can't say anything. I made a choice to go to Ali Pali, and I changed my life that way. So
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, Fallon.